folks here for the listening session. I'm Dave Walsh. I'm a member of the UCF Board of Trustees, and our board chairman had appointed me chairman of the UCF Presidential Search Committee several months ago. We have several other members of the search committee here, actually a full forum. So just like if you all would introduce yourselves very briefly to our audience and explain your association with UCF and before we carry on with the listening. So Felicia, if you'll.
Good morning, I'm Felicia Williams with Valencia College. I'm the president of the West Campus and the incipient downtown campus.
Good morning, I'm Mayor Buddy Dyer, Mayor of the City of Orlando, and in partnership with a lot of things related to UCF.
Good morning, I'm Conrad Santiago, a financial advisor with Ameriprise Financial Services and a former trustee.
Hi everybody, my name is Linda Walters. I am a Pegasus professor in the biology department. I'm a marine biologist, and for 35% of my time, I am the director of the Center for Success for Women faculty here at UCF.
Good morning, I'm Gordon Chavez. I'm the Associate Vice President for Enrollment Services within the Division of Student Development and Enrollment Services here at the University of Central Florida. And I can report that we are 17% ahead in applications as of this moment versus last year.
Congratulations. My name is Bill Yergin. I'm the CEO of CorrectCraft and also a UCF trustee.
My name is Beverly C. I'm a UCF trustee and the parent of one daughter is a two-time alum, undergrad and grad, and the other daughter will be getting her graduate degree in May.
I'm Anoj Chopra. I'm a professor of civil engineering and UCF's NCAA faculty athletic rep.
I'm Christina Barretto. I'm a senior studying industrial engineering and management systems, and I'm also the student body vice president.
I'm Sid Kitson, CEO of Kitson & Partners and vice chair of the Board of Governors.
I'm Rick Walsh, CEO of Nob Hill, alum, bachelor's and master's degree, and a founding member of the Board of Trustees and chair emeritus.
Good morning, I'm Sarah Bernard. I'm an attorney at Broad & Cassell. I am also the chair of the UCF Alumni Association and serve on the executive committee for the foundation as well.
Good morning, my name's Ken Robinson. I'm with Dr. Phillips Charities. And Gordon, I think President Hitt would ask only 17%.
Right. Good morning, Michael Manglardi. I'm an attorney with Martinez Manglardi, past chair of the Golden Knights Club, UCF Alumni Association, the foundation. Also a very proud parent of 4 children. 2 have since graduated from UCF. One is a successful sophomore here now, and proud to announce that my 4th son just received last week his letter of admissions to the Honors College at UCF, which has guided him to full on board UCF Knights. So very happy to be a part of this.
Okay, President Hitt has transformed UCF into the institution it is today. Finding our next visionary leader is a monumental responsibility. President Hitt's success has ensured this search will attract national attention and interest, and it has already. And like my colleagues, I'm honored to serve in this committee. Our work represents one of the most important tasks that UCF has ever faced. In fact, the charge the Board of Trustees gave to this committee says the future of the university rests upon your wisdom. With that in mind, I'd like to share our activities in a little bit of detail. I think many of you attending the listening session may be new to the process, so I'll provide a little update on how we got here, where we're headed, and what we're doing. Dr. Hitt announced his retirement from the presidency on October 24th of 17, effective June 30th of 2018. The Board of Trustees voted unanimously to confirm the search committee and its content on November 3rd. The 15-member committee includes representatives from faculty, staff, the student body, alumni, trustees, Florida Board of Governors, and the Central Florida community. We had held our first meeting on November 20th and second meeting on December 4th as a committee. During that meeting, Parker Executive Search was selected to assist UCF in attracting the best candidates from around the country. Parker has a national reputation for conducting successful and inclusive searches, including recent presidential or chancellor searches at the University of Illinois, University of Oregon, University of Iowa, and the University of Tennessee, among others. Parker also has a deep knowledge of UCF and our culture, And that's quite important as they storm the country looking for talented candidates who are good fits for UCF. Our third search committee was just conducted earlier this morning. Parker's advised us they're developing a very robust list of possible candidates, and our next update from them will occur on our next committee meeting on February the 5th here at UCF. The committee is also responsible for ensuring that the search follows the Florida Board of Governors and UCF Board of Trustee processes for selecting presidents. We're working very closely with both boards to assure that our activities adhere to these procedures. Once a field of candidates is established, the committee will narrow the group from 8 to 10 finalists, semifinalists, who will interview with the committee. From there, the committee will recommend an unranked list of between 3 and 5 finalists for then the Board of Trustees to consider. The finalists will visit the campus and interview with individuals and groups, as well as present in an open session to the public. So we're moving thoroughly and swiftly, so we'll have a new president confirmed by the UCF Board of Trustees and the Florida Board of Governors by no later than June 30th, based on the effective date of Dr. Hitt's retirement. So if you take note of only one thing from my remarks, please make it this. The presidential search website is clearly the best source of detailed information for updates and news about the search. The site is ucf.edu/president search, contains stories, research policies, meetings of minutes, videos, and more. We believe that the best search is one that's comprehensive, transparent, and inclusive, and that's why your feedback is so important. This is a listening session, so please share your thoughts on what challenges UCF needs to address in the future, what qualities the next president should have to address those challenges, and then further, why someone should want to come to UCF. What would they find attractive in coming to UCF to become the next president? Now, caution, we're not here to debate the issues. We're really here to listen. So I'd encourage you to make expository statements as opposed to positing questions. Statements we can better deal with and transcribe and understand the feeling and understand fully and hopefully be able to incorporate in our thinking going forward. What we'd like to have is each speaker have about 3 minutes to present their thoughts, and then we'll have 30 seconds or so, maybe some translation or confirmation of what was stated, and then move along to the next speaker when the time is up, person by person. If there are any groups, we'd ask that you be courteous and allow others to speak so that everyone's voice can be heard. Now, the session is being recorded, although it's not being live streamed at this time. So later it'll be posted to the presidential website for the public to view. So with that, I'd like to thank all of you for attending and joining us in this momentous opportunity to input to the process. So thank you for being here, and I'd like to welcome the first speaker who would like to opine on the search and qualities of a new president. If I may, you don't have to do this, but if you're able to mention who you are and what your affiliation with the university is.
Absolutely. Good morning. My name is Lavin. I'm a 2006 alumnus, and I'm really excited to be here after we've won our national championship. So that's exciting. I didn't think that would happen so quickly. I'm in town today because I was here celebrating at the parade at Disney and the downtown event that Mayor Dyer had, which I appreciated, and I thought that was a great way to mark the event. And I wanted to stop by since I was in town and just share some feedback from my perspective. I graduated in 2006, and first of all, I want to acknowledge Dr. Hitt for focusing on first-generation students. I was the first generation in my family to attend a university, and because of that opportunity, was able to get a job at Channel 6 right out of school, and I worked at both Channel 6 and Channel 9 here for about 10 years before deciding to go back to school at the University of Florida for my first year of law school, and just this past fall transferred to Georgetown Law School, so I'm finishing up my law degree there. And the education at UCF was tremendous. It was very helpful and set me apart and gave me the tools to succeed. That's a strength, and that's great. There's one concern I have, and it is something I learned in the UCF Business School with Dr. Calleran back in 2004, I think it was. And he spoke of paradigm paralysis, and he warned us just be careful a bit of groupthink and of looking at the way we've done things, one way and not being able to kind of change that and identify new ways to do things. And Trustee Yergain mentioned it, that things will be changing. So I was encouraged to hear that foresight from this group that we will probably have to change and adapt to change to succeed, just like you see, Blockbuster versus Netflix, look who's doing better now. And on the football note, I'll kind of give a little story with that. Coach O'Leary did a tremendous job. He got us where we needed to be, and we had great success. There came a time where we had to make an adjustment, and Coach Frost came in, and he changed the way everything worked, and he was empowered to make that change, and he wasn't hamstrung. He wasn't told to do it the old way. He was allowed to keep doing it the new way, and it worked. So I think, I heard Ms. Wilder's concerns about the transparency and things like that. I think one way to overcome that concern about having your name out there is if it's clear to these candidates that they're going to be empowered to do it their way and maybe shake things up and to, identify any areas that maybe we can improve. And as time goes on, maybe we need to do it differently. So I think that's just, that's some feedback from me as a alum that I think might be helpful in the search, and I wanted to share that. The other thing about transparency seems to be very important. As I said, I worked in the media for several years. I think something that can help with that would be to share these studies that were discussed today. If that was made available on the website beforehand, if that was made available to this committee beforehand, that would, if to the media beforehand, that would make it so the public could see what's going on, and maybe someone interested in the compensation level could have been here to give comments on that. I would have taken a look and maybe shared some comments on that as well. So feedback going forward to achieve that goal of transparency everyone has, from my perspective, would be to make that available going forward early so everyone has a chance to provide meaningful public comment. And last thing is I was in student government here, and I'm excited to see Christina up here representing the students, and I encourage you to keep speaking out. I liked hearing your question today. And the other thing that might help with transparency and dialogue would be, when the Orlando Sentinel calls, I encourage you to take the call. You get a chance while you're in school to practice with the reporter from the Sentinel. That's a great opportunity. You don't want to decline through the spokesman and miss out on the opportunity to really get that practice and engage. And also that helps get the process more transparent as well. So other students see your comments and they might get more excited. And I think it just looks better than having a prepared statement from the spokesperson. So I'd encourage you to take the bull by the horns, and this is a very special opportunity, and I look forward to, I'll be back in Washington in the cold, but I'm going to be following it closely and excited to see where this goes. And I think UCF's going to be doing great things. So appreciate your time, and go Knights.
Thank you.
My name is JT Shim. I was here from 2001 to 2008, and I finally got through the academic hazing, called it a PhD. Statute of limitations was coming, and they says, we're going to graduate you whether you're ready or not. Tom Keon was the dean there, and he said that he likes to interview all of the prospective faculty. And one of the things that he found surprising is that some of the faculty, half of them didn't have questions. So one of the things I think that a president should have is the level of intellectual curiosity. Kind of like Einstein says, if we knew what we were doing, we wouldn't call it research. Second thing is, I think they should be a U.S. citizen. I understand that's not a BFOQ, bona fide occupational qualification, but we do a lot of research that's, secure, national defense related. So I think they should be a U.S. citizen. That's my bias, but that doesn't have to be required. I also looked at the 15 points. I didn't see terminal degree in there. So JD, PhD, MD, I think those things are important. One of the people that came here was Cherie Blair, the wife of Tony Blair, former Prime Minister of the UK. We're connected on LinkedIn, and I see some of the deck of slides she says, women, they do well in school, but when you look at the boards and positions of power, they're underrepresented. So sort of like an affirmative action, I suggest we consider, giving a little bit more weight to women. They do well, they do a good job, and they shouldn't, so we should look at that. The other thing is, I think they should have ready to be installed July 1. I heard you say you want them confirmed by June 30th, but it'd be nice to be able to do a smooth transition and not have to have any interim. These are just my ideas. The last thing I want to suggest is I am appreciative of what you guys have done with the website. I'm impressed. You guys are taking this seriously and so on and so forth. However, one of the reasons why they should come here is because of the people. And I looked at some of the LinkedIn profiles of prominent people even on this school, and they don't have profiles and pictures that should be up to snuff. And I know that's not a requirement, and I know that's not something you can control, but we've got resources to take pictures of these people, whether they want to use them or not, at least help sell the school. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there more comments? Well, deeply appreciate the two of you. Very, very forthright, very complete, very statement-oriented, and very useful for us. If there are no more comments at this point, that will conclude our first listening session. We're going to begin the second one at 2 p.m. in this same spot. Student Union. Apologies. So we'll have to relocate, but we'll break now for a light lunch and reconvene at that time. Thank you.
I will do that. I'll see you tonight.